can always trust a man with one eye. No, really.
You are in the wrong place at the wrong time, asshole. I'm Gustav, one of the Vipers. You got a lot of balls to come strolling into our camp. Well, if you're just talking, that's fine. Between you and me, I'm no friend of Slade. So do what you gotta do. I'll steer clear while you're there.
That's not...
What is it? If that's what you think. Alright. Guess I'll be around Novak for a while longer until I figure out what I want to do with myself. See you around.
This is a dangerous place, human, especially for your kind. I suggest you turn back. There's nothing good waiting for you further on. Yes, I hear that sometimes. And then I never see the people who said it again.
I'll be right here, Chief.
direct me to Mistress Tabitha. Thank you very much. My internal clock says it's been 6 years, 52 days, 40 minutes, and 13 seconds since I last spoke to her. I hope she hasn't gotten lonely.
Rhonda? Is that you?
It is, Mistress Tabitha. How I've missed you so. This stranger here fixed me up right as rain. Is he a friend of yours?
I don't know how to thank you for bringing Rhonda back to me, stranger. Here, take this. I won't be needing it anymore. No, of course not. I don't know what I'm gonna do now with Rhonda back.
Mistress Tabitha, we should be heading off. Our journey has been much delayed, but we can catch up if we hurry. Come along now.
Yes, Rhonda.
Took you long enough, so can I go now? Sorry. I assumed the only reason you'd fight past a horde of super mutants and pick the lock on my cell is if you heard my cry for help on the radio. But maybe you're just sightseeing. So since the door's open and all, can I go now? Name's Raul. Raul Alfonso Tejada. I'm the mechanic around here. No. No, boss. I'm a prisoner of the crazy super mutant with the wig and the glasses. I was kind of hoping you were here to set me free. But maybe I'm not a pretty enough damsel for that. Huh? Probably because it used to be Miguel's. Whoever he was. How about if you let me go, huh, boss? Sure, boss. I'd be happy to prolong my captivity and psychological abuse to tighten some lug nuts for you. Back again? Can I go this time, or do you have something else in mind? Alrighty then. I'll just head out, alone, by myself, into the dangerous waste. Anything's better than staying here. Let's go.
Good work, human. Maybe now this place can rest in peace. I still have a job to do here. Some mutants may have heard Tabitha's broadcasts and are headed here even as we speak. I'll remain and direct anyone who show up toward Jacobstown, where they'll be much better off. There's nothing here for you, human. Though it is always good to see you.
Lead on.
If we run, we might still catch Benny. Well, you might. I'll just be wheezing along behind you. Sure, boss. What do you want to know? You forget about me already, boss? You sure you didn't take a blow to the head or something? My name is Raul Alfonso Tejada. Probably because it used to be Miguel's. I'm an open book, boss. Granted, the book's in Spanish and some of the pages have fallen out, but I'm an open book. Old enough to know better, boss. Old enough to know better. I'm an open book, boss. Granted, the book's in Spanish and some of the pages have fallen out, but I'm an open book. I was born just outside Mexico City. My family had a little ranch there. I'm an open book, boss. You never heard of Petro Chico? Un amigo de Poseidon Energy. Of course not. They were an oil company in Mexico back before the war. I'm an open book, boss. Well, boss, when a giant, insane super mutant asks you to stay put, you do what you're told. Well, maybe you don't. But I'm just a broke-down old man. It's stupid, boss. I used to listen to the radio broadcast, just to pass the time. Well, one day the signal stopped, so I figured I'd try to find a transmitter. I'm a pretty good repairman. Or I was before my eyes started to go. Anyway, I found Black Mountain and offered my services. But Tabitha decided I was useful enough to keep around. Permanently. I'm an open book, boss. I'm not much use besides being a portable encyclopedia, really. I guess you could use me as a pack Brahmin. But my knees aren't so good anymore. That's nice of you to say, boss. But I'm an old man. Not much use to anybody anymore. Time was. I was a pretty good shot with a pistol. I guess I'm still half decent. These old bones aren't much use in hand-to-hand fighting, though. I can also do maintenance work on your stuff. I don't have the supplies for a real repair job, but I can keep your gear working longer. Yeah, maybe you can introduce them to me, if we find them, because I've never met one. Anything to hold your attention, boss. Questions, boss? You mean you don't know everything there is to know already? Just how old do you think I am, boss? Because I can pretty much guarantee I'm older than that. Let me tell you a story from before the Great War. Everybody knew Robert House. He was a genius, a superstar. Founded Raul at 22. Dated Hollywood starlets, the works. They say he saved Las Vegas. I was in Mexico City when the bombs dropped. Even from there, we could see House's defensive rockets shooting down the incoming missiles. Everybody assumed he died in the war. Maybe he did. But his robots are still out there roaming the waste. And now, a Mr. House rules New Vegas. I remember there were some weird stories about him, especially near the end. There was a tell-all in El Periódico de las Arboridas by a starlet House dated. She said they never, Now don't make me spell it out, boss. Anyway, she said all he wanted to do was scan her brain and make her dress up in different outfits. It was quite the scandal, at least in the Latin American tabloid journalism market. You're a veritable geyser of curiosity, boss. Benny, huh? Sorry, boss. Doesn't ring a bell. Then again, my brain isn't as sharp as it used to be. You're a veritable geyser of curiosity, boss. They're all right, I suppose. Had a bit of tough going there at the beginning. You know their first town was nearly wiped out by raiders. Anyway, they got their good points and their bad. Just like a lot of the old governments from before the war. You're a veritable geyser of curiosity, boss. I don't really have a problem with them. People around here tend to see them as invading marauders planning to burn and pillage the countryside. But I've been to Arizona, boss. Before the Legion, it was a nasty place. So thick with raiders you couldn't trade with a town 2 miles up the road. Caesar's laws aren't nice, and their actions aren't always pretty. But then neither am I. But you keep me around. You're a veritable geyser of curiosity, boss. It's big, it's bright, and it's one of the biggest cities still left from before the war. Well, mostly anyway. Used to be just a curiosity. The buildings were pre-war. but it's just as full of raiders and barbarian tribes as any place else. Then Mr. House took over, got the power turned back on, and got the tribes reformed into something civilized. And now they run his casinos for him. Questions, boss? You mean you don't know everything there is to know already? Anything you say, boss.
We haven't met yet. You must be new in town. I'm Andy. Right now, a whole lot of sitting on my keister and counting cracks in the ceiling. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. On better days, I help keep the peace. Boone and Vargas watch the road. I watch the town. Tell myself I'm doing some good. Was with them. That was back when my arm and leg used to work better. I still like to pretend I'm a ranger, though. I'll check in with the guys up at the station pretty regular on the ham radio. Sometimes they stop by, tell me they're paying their respects, the smug bastards. They haven't been responding to me last couple days. I guess they got tired of hearing me talk, but it still got me a little worried. Hell, listen to me talk, like some damn mother hen. Yeah, who am I kidding? It's funny, you get stuck in your room for a few weeks, and you start to worry the world's gonna fall apart without you. Those guys are fine. They don't need me looking over their shoulders. They're the NCR's finest, a one-man platoon, each of them. You got a job where even thinking about it would scare a man senseless? That's when you bring in the Rangers. And if you see a squad of veterans, guys who are in their black armor, well, you won't find a more beautiful sight. Yeah, twice. Actually, the first time it was more like half my body. Knocked me out of the Rangers. This time, it's mostly just reminded me how useless I've gotten. A few years back, we get a tip that some Legion slavers were holed up in this burnt-out house a few clicks from where we were stationed. We get there and it's deserted. No sign anyone's been there. I mean, nothing. As we're leaving, I hear something behind me. I turn around and there's this kid, just skin and bone, and he's looking up at us and he's scared half to death. Been hiding in a closet. I go to grab him out of there and I notice he's holding something in his hand. Something metal. He shuts himself back in the closet, and that's when I see the grenade he's left by my feet. They do it a lot, the Legion, using kids. They know we'll hesitate. Anyway, that was the first time. Second time, I fell down those stairs in front of the motel, just in case I got to thinking I'd put it all behind me. Huh. People don't exactly line up to find out what's in my head. Can't remember the last time someone suggested I knew something worth knowing. You know? Maybe there's something I can do for you. Since you've gone to all the trouble of flattering a crippled old soldier, there's a move we have in the Rangers for knocking an opponent off his feet. Saved my butt a bunch of times, maybe it will for you too. Let me show you how it's done. Boy, you picked that takedown right up. I'm impressed. Must have had some prior training, huh? Hey, wait a sec. I know what I said, but if you find yourself by Ranger Station Charlie, let me know what you find. I'd be interested.
Hey, boss. Can I ask you something? What do you think of guys like Ranger Andy? I mean, guys who have a world of experience doing what they do, but have to give it up because they're getting old and slow or too injured. Yeah, I suppose you could still teach. Take a less active role in the world. That's not so bad. Would it surprise you to know that I used to be a gunslinging adventurer? I grew up in a place called Hidalgo Ranch, just outside Mexico City. It wasn't much, just a bit of a farm, with a house for 3 generations of Tejadas. I wasn't the best behaved kid. I was quick with my hands, with a pistol or a wrench. And I wasn't afraid to get into fights over it. I never killed anybody, but I had my share of run-ins with the police. Mostly my family kept me in line. This was before the war. We were far enough away from Mexico City when the bombs fell that we missed the worst of it. But things got bad quick. Just a few days after Mexico City was vaporized, refugees started pouring down the road to our ranch. We helped who we could, but there were so many. Eventually, my father started turning people away before we ran out of food. Things got violent. My father and I got our guns, and we drove them off. About 24 men came back in the night after we'd gone to sleep. They set fire to the ranch house and barred the doors from the outside. My whole family was trapped inside. I smelt the smoke, and I got myself and my little sister Rafaela out through a window. But everyone else, my parents, my grandmother, my 2 brothers, and 2 of my sisters, all died. Rafaela and I ran. We were pursued by some of the men who attacked our home, but I was always a good shot. The ones who came after us, I killed. The rest, I left be. I had to take care of Rafaela, not throw my life away on revenge. Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that for all my skills with a pistol, I couldn't help them. Anyway, that was weighing on my mind. Thanks for letting me get it out in the open, boss.
What can I do for you? There's not much to say. I came into some money, so I fixed up this building and turned it into a saloon. With the caravans and prospectors passing through, I've been able to get a lot of business. As for me, you could say I was a drifter for a while. I'll leave it at that. Some things are better left unsaid. See you later.
Hey.
What's up? Most of the old Enclave goons have assimilated or long since departed for areas without formal government. The majority of them aren't worth the trouble, but Arthur Ribbon is an exception given the nature and scope of his crimes. Men of every stripe and qualification have scoured the Mojave for Ribbon, and all they've uncovered are ghost stories and outlandish rumors. Here's my advice. Follow the money. Guys like that still have to eat, and so he's got to be pursuing some manner of business that uses his skills. That's my 2 cents anyway. Even though it's been a long time, he still deserves to face justice. Good luck.
What do you want? He's that old Enclave butcher from way back, right? You're on a snipe hunt if you ask me. If he's managed to survive, he's long gone. They're tough, disciplined, and well paid. Most mercs would give their firstborn to get on board with that crew. Assuming you survive, 10 to 15 years of steady work can set you up for life. Their leader is the key to the whole thing. I don't know his background, but he's rumored to be tougher than Caesar's legate. He's some kind of legendary killer from the plains. I hear he enslaved an entire town and then burned it to the ground. As much as you see me sitting on my ass in this bar, you should have a clear picture. It's feast or famine, really. I get most of my income from the caravans and merchants, so it can vary with the seasons. Shadow Company snatches up most of the contracts, and we independents are left to pick up the scraps. I did hear a rumor that some new firm might be moving into the Mojave, Martin's Marines was the name. Who knows? Aside from their fanatical misogyny, I kind of respect them. Caesar provides real security in a chaotic, fucked up world. I've accompanied caravans through Legion territory, and I've never felt safer. Sure, I get some dirty looks, but otherwise it was fine. The old highway from Kingman to Flagstaff is the safest stretch of road you can find in this continent. Believe me, I've seen a lot of it. I think it's bad for business. Manpower is an expensive commodity. I hate to see it wasted so much. I just want a clear winner, really. This stalemating and ongoing attrition is destabilizing the entire region, to nobody's benefit. It's the beautiful scenery and fine cuisine, not to mention the handsome men, like Doc Friday, for example. No, I'm looking for work. There are always contracts for caravans between Novak and the 188 trading post, so I'm where I need to be. If you must know, I'm from outside New Reno. My family died from disease when I was young, so I lived with my Uncle John. He had run with the Desert Rangers in his younger days, so he had a lot of practical knowledge to share. He showed me the ropes and got me set up in the business. After he passed, I took over his contracts, and I've been on the road since. Bye.